Hey everybody, we're going to call this Island Girl Orchids. My wife is the orchid expert. I'm the guy holding the camera, talking about generalities. So if I make a mistake, you're going to have to get her to correct me, or she'll make a correction, I'm sure. She's the expert, I'm the guy with the camera. We're going to show you how to grow orchids in a confined space in a city like Las Vegas where you use your environment to your advantage. So taking a look at what we have, you have two types of orchids with this setup. It's Dendrobiums and Phals, and my wife wants to get into Cattleyas, I can't say it right. These are mainly rescue orchids. They're Dendrobiums. Some of them, when you see a plastic yellow tab, have a species on them. A lot of them don't. These ones here come from the casinos, and they go and get rescued through the Greater Las Vegas Orchid Society, and we go ahead and we rescue them. glvos.org. If you're in Vegas, you should come and check us out. We're over every Sunday, first Sunday of the month at the North Rainbow Library. So we have our little thermometer. It tells us right now that it's 70 degrees, and it was 73 as a high, 61 as a low, and 50% humidity. It's so humid here, we're going to tell you how we do that in a minute. Going out here, this is all the wife's doing. I didn't do any of this stuff. She created this entire orchid wall. Pretty beautiful. We've used a basically existing security gate that we have. Nowadays, it's smart to have one no matter where you live, no matter what city you're in, it seems. And basically, she has taken like cheap materials that you get at dollar stores and made these cheap pots into awesome pots that have lots of holes for aeration. These cheap hooks into hooks that attach in. And she used a meat thermometer, a candle, and she lit the candle and heated up the thermometer to create the holes. Pretty amazing, right? So this is an example of what you can do in a limited space. Now, we face west, which means that we don't necessarily have a lot of harsh morning and daytime sunlight, but we do have the harsh evening sunlight. Now, these might be a little bit too tall come the summer. We might have to install a sunshade. We'll obviously video that if we do. Moving along, this is another place you can put orchids. On a wall or on a door. This door is heavy. I wouldn't recommend this on a cheap door. This I picked up at a yard sale, or she got it at a yard sale. I can't remember one time. And this is mounted into the door. More rescue orchids from the Orchid Society, from the casinos. And so this wall I keep referring to that keeps the sunlight out, well, here it is. And we also have a palm tree that helps keep the sunlight out. And we also have a tree that helps keep the sunlight out. I think she told me that this is a different type of tree. I can't remember the name of the tree. Anyways, we have all these orchids sitting out here. The wall is up here, and you can see how it's going to catch the light, and theirs are not going to be directly in the direct sunlight. And you can see everything here is happy and wet and moist. And why is it happy and wet and moist? Well, that's simple. I'm going to show you that in a second. But how do we set this whole thing up? Well, first of all, the palm tree creates a little bit of shade, which is nice. It also means that we have a nice little air situation that keeps in the humidity. This is all recycled. Recycled crate, recycled little shelving units, and the wife had me put them together, and then she kind of perfected them. I did it one way and she made it even better. And then we also have the orchids hanging as well, because orchids like to hang. I mean, she taught me, and this is what I've learned, orchids are usually growing on trees or mountainsides somewhere, or even in rocks. Well, when these things kind of get a breeze, they kind of sway, and they really like it. So we can hang the orchids like that as well. Okay, hanging orchids are all well and good, and then we have them also over here on the wall here, on the other security area on the window. Well, how much do these orchids like it? A lot. This was a rescue orchid. Honestly, guys, when we first got this orchid, this guy here with all these flowers ready to burst, it looked a lot like that there, but even smaller. These guys here are growing and thriving, and they've been outside nearly their entire lives so far. And that's just because we have the cooler climates right now. But we keep them very moist, and you guys can see we recycled everything. And she waters them and babies them and takes great care with them. So we can see even more that are ready to actually flower over here. Now, how do we keep them so darn moist? Well, this is a link I'm putting in the description below to this on Amazon. This is an amazing little Rainmaker watering device. And this is not heavy once it's filled up. It's filled up with 4 liters, which is going to make that 4 kilograms of water. So 4 kilograms of water, just over 12 pounds, I guess, but it's not too heavy. It's a gallon, and it's an air pump, so there's no batteries needed. All you're going to do with this is open it up and start pumping it down. And what it does is it makes it so you can use this 20 to 30 minutes continuously if you wanted to, and orchids don't want to necessarily be watered with a hose, so you can spray just like that. And you can see how happy they become being watered just like that. And it leaves a nice little glistening mist of water on them, and they just love it. So this here, a great investment to make. I think I paid like 20 bucks for it. Anyways, if you want to look into something like that, you can buy cheaper ones on Walmart or Home Depot. With the one here, I highly recommend. It's made really, really well. The seller ships it really fast, and they do a great job. Driftwood wise, if you saw some wooden orchids, we're going to talk about that later, but not today. She bought driftwood from Ohio, and there's even one from a pet store. Pet stores sell driftwood. We'll talk about mounting into driftwood later, but we're very lucky because we have options. We live in a big city. Everything you need is online if you need it. So that's how we did it. That's how we grow the orchids in a challenging climate out here. And when it comes to be summertime, we might build a little greenhouse out here or just basically create sunshades. We'll let you guys know. So yeah, hopefully that helps you, and we look forward to any comments you might have. Thank you.